Hi everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be replacing the coolant pump on this Toyota Corolla Verso 2.2 D4D. Coolant pump is located down there. And as you can see from the pink staining down there, the coolant pump is leaking. So let's get on with the repair. Raise the car up on a jack and axle stands. And the next thing we need to do is just remove these nuts here to remove this under panel. So without this panel in place, you can see the side of the engine, and what we've been trying to access is the tensioner. You'll need a 22mm spanner and put it onto that nut and then pull it, and as you can see, as it pulls, you can remove, it releases tension on the belt. So sufficient tension needs to be removed to get the belt off. I won't be able to do this on camera because you need two hands, one to tension it and the other to remove the belt. So I'll get that belt removed and then I'll join you back up top. Off now. Just drew myself a little diagram here so I knew how the belt goes back on. So yeah, belt's off, and what we need to do is remove this power steering pump. The nuts are located in here. Probably won't be able to see the other one, it's right down in the bottom there. So these are a 12mm bolt, and I'll be using a long socket to get into it where I can. So that's all the bolts out, and what I've done is I've popped them into the new pump so we can see which bolts go where, because some of the bolts are longer than others, so you might not get the right bolt in where you want it to. This one here was particularly difficult to remove at the back here. Something came out on the end of it, almost like a bit of plastic, so it's possible that the thread's been damaged on this one. If somebody's replaced this already, I can't imagine this is on its second pump, but if it has been replaced, there's been a bit of thread repair done, or it's some thread lock. But that one it fought me all the way out, and it was the most difficult one to reach because it's on the other side of the pump. So pump is still in place, and try and get a screwdriver in. There we go. Did have a tray underneath to catch that. As you can see, it didn't catch all of it, but collected the majority of it. This is the moment in truth. Did I get the right pump? Yes, I did. So all looks good. I think it's probably the bearing that's gone wrong on it. When you rotate it, you can feel it's quite raunchy. There's a bit of play in that bearing. spin it up, there's a bit of noise to it as well. So I think it was the actual bearing that's gone, and there's obviously a rubber seal behind the here. I'm guessing it's sort of come out through here. Again, if you can see down inside there, there's quite a lot of coolant in that area, and none at the top. So yeah, I think it's all come from that bearing. So I've put everything back together. So everything was the reverse of dismantle. I just bolted the water pump in and replaced the bolts in the power steering pump. Just topping up the coolant now. I'm reusing the coolant that came out, but as you can see I caught it in a tray, but the tray's never 100% clean, so I'm just using a bit of cloth there to filter out any dirt so I don't contaminate the cooling system. Once all that's done, I've just got to install the under panels and run it up. I have got some other coolant to top up because I would have lost some throughout the whole process, but this is the correct coolant for the car, and it's in good condition, as you can see, other than the debris floating from where it's been caught. It's all in good condition, so no reason to completely replace the coolant in this. So I'm back off road test after replacing the coolant pump, and the coolant level is okay, got no further leaks, so that's all good. So just going to run through the tools that you're going to need to do this. So the bolts for the power steering pump are 14mm. I didn't need to use a deep socket, just a standard socket. They came out okay. The nuts for the coolant pump were 12mm. I used a combination of a standard socket and a 1/4 inch drive and 1/4 inch ratchet to get onto those. Needed to use a flexi in some instances to get into that, so you'll need a flexi and maybe an extender, and 10mm bolts or socket for the under tray, and obviously a sort of a trim clip remover for that. So hope this has been a helpful video. If you would like to comment and subscribe, it will help me to make more videos just like this.